Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're from, and welcome to Intercept Insights, episode number 2. With me, I've got my buddies Greg and Richard. Good afternoon.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, very good, very good. Thank you. So today we've got more structure in the show. We made some nice transitions, so we're becoming like Camtasia video editing specialists. Really keen to show that as well. We're going to start with a recap of the week. So what happened last week, we'll call it the weekly retrospective. We're going to see what's new in Azure. We have a special guest today, so we'll add a guest somewhere along the show. After that, we'll discuss some fun facts and see what it will look like next week. And with that, we'll start with the first part. Let's do a recap of the week. All right, I like that. That's pretty cool. I just want to watch it over and over again. All right, so last week, what happened in the past 7 days? Gregor, what did you do? What happened?
So I spent the last 7 days doing that little animation that you just saw on Camtasia. To be honest, in all seriousness, I have renewed my AZ500 security exam. So I did that on Monday, I think it was. What else did I do? I was also started a study guide for the AI 102 exam. So I've just published that about 10 minutes ago. So I'm going to start studying for that. I've just put all the links in for all the, that's the URL below. So I'm going to start studying for that probably today onwards. I've also had some customer calls this week with some customers who are interested on moving their on-prem solution to a SaaS model. So I'm putting a document together about that. It's quite interesting. And that's really it. That's really it for me. What about you, Richard?
When you're going up for certification? Sorry.
Yeah.
Probably a while because I don't know any AI stuff. So it's all probably about a month for now.
Oh, I thought you said a while. A month's quite quick. So I look forward to hearing about your journey on that one. So for me this week, last week I've been sort of working with Windows containers quite a lot, trying to get in a way, an end-to-end encryption through the ingress controller, which then decrypts it and then re-encrypts it back to the actual back-end pods. So that was quite challenging, but we got there in the end, trying to figure out all the annotations needed. Took a while, but we got there. There's a few other issues with Windows containers I've been ironing out, like permissions and stuff, but we're finally there. So that was quite a successful week in a way, yeah. And apart from that, really not much else apart from playing with my new Surface Duo, which is awesome.
We want to know all about that in a bit. Yeah, all right. Sounds good.
How about you?
Week. Yeah, so first, the T-shirts, guys. We the Ignite T-shirts. This happened. Yes. So what happened, we started previewing the session. Richard and I were wearing the same T-shirt, and Greg got it out, and I feel like a team. It's wonderful. Mm-hmm. And we got to mention this, so we got to show this. So Holly from Seattle, appreciate you being here. Also for episode 2, starts at 7 a.m. Seattle time.
Wow.
Getting up at 7 a.m. for us. And just
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Warms my heart. Thank you. All right, so my week. I talked about IoT last week. And I passed the AZ220 220XM, the IoT developer. I have to be honest, it was one of the certifications where I was really nervous about because, I'm not a developer by, as a job. It's not my profession. I love doing it. I've been doing it for quite a while, and I've been recommending IoT stuff to customers, right? So what do you do with IoT app? How do you connect your devices? How do you secure them? How do you transfer stuff to Stream Analytics or to wherever you want? But then I wanted to get into the nitty-gritty of it, so actually write code. And that's when it got a bit challenging because I've never written code that does IoT stuff. So I got the Raspberry Pi thing that I showed last week, connected some sensors to it, wrote some code, and it actually ended up in Azure, all the data, built a little motion detection thing. And that's what I used to study for my 220. But then when I looked at the docs and the XM out, I'm like, I don't know enough. I have no clue. But actually, I did. I had about 806 points, which I thought that wasn't bad for someone not feeling that comfortable. But then you start thinking about it, right? So do I know IoT now? And that's not necessarily. It's like when you get your driver's license, that's when you learn how to drive a car. You do all the stuff before, you learn the basics, but then you have to get into it. And that's what I want to share with the community as well. I'm going to start a series of blog posts on how I got into AZ220. And then also do blog posts on the different subjects. So you need to study you need the device provisioning service, or you need something else. You need to do IoT Edge. So do a blog post on how I got started with that, what I use, and how that matches up with the XM outline. So that's what I want to share over the next couple of weeks. And then what I also did is record a session with Microsoft in the Nordics. We hosted a panel with a group of software companies, pretty much just asked them, so what does it take to be a software company? What do you do? How do you end up in Azure? How do you do DevOps? And I hosted that panel, which was really cool. It's going to launch on July 1st, and I'll grab the link. So you should all register. It's free. So if you're a software company or you're into software development or you work at a software company, sign up, watch the video. It's a pretty nice chat with just different people, really casual about being a software company and using that Microsoft Azure cloud.
Awesome.
That's what I spent most of my week on last week. Of course, I had some customer calls. It was busy. There a lot of customer calls about IoT as well. Also some Azure Digital Twin. That's pretty cool. Haven't done much with that, but had a good session about 2 years ago at a meetup about someone who did something with Digital Twin, just reading the API, sending stuff to it, getting stuff from it. So I'm looking to build that for my little home office, see if we can make a digital twin of that home office. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. So that's the week in retrospect, I think. Nothing. We had a lot of days off. It's like the month May in the Netherlands. It's like a lot of bank holidays. Like today, it's Ascension Day. It's a day off for everyone in the Netherlands. Not for you guys, but
working hard.
No, that's the challenge with working from different countries, right?
Definitely.
But it's fun. We'll still keep in touch, even if we got a holiday. We'll still keep in touch, which is really good. All right, so let's talk about what's new in Azure. And a lot of stuff did. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and a lot of stuff did happen in Azure actually last week. So what do we think about the new icon?
Well, I really like it. As you can tell, I even have a notepad about it. So yeah, I think it's a lot better personally. But
yeah, I like it as well.
You got stickers too, right?
I have stickers too. There's somewhere. Are they in this drawer? Yeah, they're in here. I got stickers too.
Cool.
Which is awesome. Yeah.
All right.
A bit sad, I know, but I like it. A bit of branded merch.
We should give some away on Twitter later on.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, we should do that. Yeah. Well, Richard should. His stickers. Yeah, you should. All right, everyone, we're gonna give some of Richard's stickers away. So just so you all know, we're gonna do that. Awesome. All right. Yeah, and Gregor, what do you think is new this week? What popped out for you?
Static web apps. It's gone GA. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, haven't really done much with it, so I need to check it out. I kind of sometimes wait till some of these things go GA before I play with them. But yeah, I need to check that out. So yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, I need to look into some static web apps. Did play with it a bit when it was in preview. Worked, also broke some stuff, but I like the concept of just deploying it, selecting the repo. It even does the GitHub action for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you just click it builds a GitHub action, and then your whole CI/CD, it's all just there, which I like. And maybe it's a good next step for instead of hosting stuff on blob storage. So.
Yeah, so we've got the Cloud Family websites on Hugo, written in Hugo, on GitHub.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So we might just move that. It's on GitHub pages, so we might try and move that.
You should do that. We'll talk about it in on Intercept Insights, or maybe do a different one on how you managed to do that, going from static content on blog stories to static web apps. Yeah. All right, Richard, something that popped out for you.
So one of the things that I noticed this week is the depreciation of the blockchain service in Azure, which, I didn't expect them to actually depreciate it, but it's going, I think, in September. So I think, if I remember right from what you told me, they are going to recommend you use a third-party partner of theirs or put it on VMs. So if you are using blockchain, then definitely look into this. Go check it out, what you need to do to move off, because you're not going to be able to use it in Azure soon.
Yeah, I think I read that the next step is or the migration path to the VMs or a third party. I think they did mention some partners. Well, it's important to keep an eye out.
What about yourself, what have you noticed?
Well, two things, not necessarily Azure. Well, the Azure icon, obviously, that was a big thing. I think we need to mention that people can still register for Build.
Yes.
So if you want to watch some good sessions, we'll talk about it next week as well. See what sessions look interesting to us. Then what we'll also do is do a recap at the end of Build, and we'll talk about what we thought of the sessions, what popped out. But I think what you'll be seeing the upcoming weeks is that's how it goes with conferences, right? You'll see a lot of new announcements of new stuff coming up, and then it's being showed at the conference. So I'm actually expecting a lot of new Azure stuff in the upcoming 2 weeks. We'll see. Yep. And what I also think is a worthy mention, which I woke up this morning and then I had a lot of mentions and things on Twitter. We need to participate in this. We need to participate in the community working from home setup and background awards. It's Izzy is hosting it. We've got some judges. You both are in as a judge. I think Holly is in as a judge as well.
Yep.
She
is in the chat. So I'm definitely going to make pictures and add that. I see that the deadline for adding your setup is August 1st. So I got time to fix, because what you're seeing there is not what you're going to see up there. So I might need to fix that a little bit. But I think that is it's great. I like seeing how people build their stuff, how they set it up.
Just make sure you open that wallet up and get the cash out and go and get some nice cool gadgets for your office.
Yeah, about that, I finally got my GitHub delivered. It arrived last Friday. It took 3 weeks. It's set at customs for about a week. So that's, I'm really happy with it. Now it's just sitting there. So you wait for something for 3 weeks and now it's just sitting there. You don't do anything. Well, it looks pretty cool. I like it. All right. Yeah, so that was it. That was what popped out for me this week. Definitely Bill. Been scrolling through the sessions a bit. Need to look at it a bit more. But that's it. All right, and I think then it's time to add our guest to the show. I need to remove that first. I need to get a Stream Deck. I keep clicking everywhere. Greg said you need to get a Stream Deck. I need to get a Stream Deck. I just need buttons to press. So whatever I'm doing it with the mouse in StreamYard. So I need to up my game at some point. But I'll get a Stream Deck. So let's add the guest of the week. Of course, we've got a nice video for that as well. Add the guest and we'll ask him or her some questions. We'll see. All right, and there we are. We have our guest of the week, which is Rinie Huijgen, or Huijgen in Dutch, who actually is our CTO. So welcome, Rinie. Thank you for joining.
Great to be here, guys. Excellent. Guest of the week. That's quite an honor. I hope I can compete also with the background. I have 2 Xboxes here. I did order the original one, but it's in shipping. But
nice.
I had some fancy lighting, so.
Very cool.
So like the first Xbox, like the very
the
first
original, yeah.
The big one with the X,
with the green logo on top of it. I didn't originally own one, nice. But I had the other one, so they're sitting behind me.
I used to own one. That was good. I think I owned a PlayStation 1 first, and then I moved to Xbox. Ever since, been Xbox. I love it. So, all right. So, Rinie, we're gonna change the screen and do it like We need to do it like that. Was it that? Yes, and then we'll put you here. There we go. There we go. All right, we're gonna ask you a couple of questions. And first up, tell us something about yourself. So, who is this person on the other side of the video? I've known you for ages, but I think it's good that you can tell the rest of the crowd who you are and what you do.
Yeah, we go way back, Wesley. Yeah? So
we
have a couple of people at Intercept that I think this is the third company I work with them, so that's excellent. So my name is Rinie Huijgen. I'm 43 years old, married, 3 small boys. Actually, the oldest one is 8 already, so not that small anymore, but really nice. I live actually, I think, a 10-minute drive from our office in the Netherlands. So that's me. I have a technical background. I'm really interested in tech, a big Microsoft enthusiast. Not everything, so not SharePoint or those things, but the rest I really like. That's who I am, and I think you have a couple of questions for me, so feel free to fire them at me.
Yep. How did Intercept start? So how did it happen? It's been a couple of years now. You spent a lot of effort in it. I remember when you started, I was working at a customer, so I know the story. But can you tell us, how did Intercept start? How did it happen?
Yeah, before we started Intercept, I worked at an IT company. That's actually one of the suppliers where you were the IT guy of one of the customers. So that's where we met. The company I worked for was in the beginning really nice. We had some very smart co-workers, some real fun, some real nice clients. So that was real fun. The biggest problem was that the current owner was not a tech guy at all. Didn't like tech even. So so we got the idea. So I think if you have a tech company, the same. I think if you're like a car company, you have to be really passionate about it to be really good at it. So we started Intercept, and a lot of things happened there. But I think it's almost 10 years now. I'm not sure if you want to know more. I can tell a whole story about what happened in all these years. But so the main reason we started Intercept is that we had the idea that if you have a focus on something, and you're really enthusiastic about it, you will get the right quality, you'll get the right people, right customers. So of course, in all these years, we did see big changes, a lot of new technologies emerging. And really happy that we were able to be at the driving wheel, so we were able to steer towards it. Of course, one of the big things we did was adopting Azure, not only adopting Azure, but fully focusing on Azure. It also has a story I can tell if you want. Well, it was not logical at that time. Even if a lot of people coming at me, so focusing on Azure, that's not smart. It's not going anywhere. You have AWS and all those things. At that time, we just really believed in what we saw and the options we had. So I think a lot of things, choices we made that turned out to be real good choices, but that was in hindsight. Maybe we had some luck here and there, but sometimes you also create your luck. And I think the biggest thing we now have is a really good, great group of people, very enthusiastic. Everybody has their own background. One is more from a developer's perspective. The other one is from ops perspective. We have people from the open source community, which when we started was not that logical, but now it's completely natural part of the whole ecosystem. So a lot of things happened. A lot of things went right. Some things went wrong, but in the end you learn. It's never a straight line to success. But what was to say? It still is a really great journey, and for me, it's still something. I can't really imagine that we're almost hitting 10 years now. So
yeah, that's amazing. All right, before we go to my next question, we've got a question from Izzy, or more. Well, it's not a question.
Telescope. Yeah.
Tell us about the telescope.
Yeah, I really like everything that has to do with the galaxy, with the world around us. It's really fascinating. I don't really understand a lot about it, although I do follow a lot of really smart people on YouTube and try to read up on it. So I was able to buy this one also to get my boys interested in this technology. I bought it from somebody that had it in the living room, and he had to sell it. It really did some pain in his heart, but it was in the way. I must say, don't use it that often because it misses a start tracker. So it's very difficult to get something in focus. You have to use the manual dials. But it does work really well with, of course, the moon and some of the bigger planets. So yeah, you can spend as much on the foot than on the telescope itself if you want. So if you're interested in it, it's something you can put your money in.
Yeah, I just want to say to everyone, if you want to see Rinie in his natural habitat, go to Kennedy Space Center.
Yeah, yeah.
We've been there after
Space Museum in Washington, also really nice.
Yeah, it's just it's amazing. All right. So next question: what does a CTO at Intercept do?
That's a good question. Yeah, I'm not sure what a normal CTO at a regular company does. I think it really depends on if you work for an end customer or for a tech company like Intercept. And of course, I think it also depends on the size of your company and the things you're doing. And normally, what you need to do as a CTO is to ensure that you reach the goals you set out. But for me, I think the biggest thing I learned in the past is that if you want to be a tech company, you have to have a technical heart also in the leadership team of the company. So if you don't do that, you only focus, for example, on sales, or reaching the goals you set out, but not taking into account all the technical stuff that's happening, all the new innovations. I think my role is to be that person in the leadership team. Also, of course, we have to balance business and technology. For me, it's mostly technology. But of course, if you only look at technology, you're not going to earn anything. You don't really have any, future. But you can't only focus on the business or the sales side of it. So I try to be that person. Also try to really be part of the day-to-day operation. So try to be in most of the stand-ups. Also try to engage in projects, so we know what's cool with the customer. I often see that one type of technology we're looking at for one customer, then you have like 3, 4, 5 or more other companies that are looking at the same. And I find it very interesting. For example, Richard mentioned Windows containers. I have a Windows background. I really know that Windows is somewhat difficult in the container perspective, but I really like that Microsoft is investing in it. I do see a big use case for that. For example, companies that are not running in managed codes or that are using .NET Framework but can't use .NET 5 or .NET Core, how you want to call it. There are like a million applications of those, and there's really interesting things to look at to be able to help a customer do it more efficient, more cost efficient, give that application maybe a second life. So really like that. So these are the things I really try to focus on, the showcase projects, and of course other stuff, things that didn't really imagine when I started, things like a hiring plan and budgeting, and we have great CFO for all the financial part. So really like that. We have of course a CEO that's doing all the other stuff that I don't focus on, all the non-technical things and on the sales part. But I do try to engage on pre-sales projects. So it's quite diverse. So it's and I get to pick and choose, of course, but not always, because of course in the end, customer is what really, of course, matters. To have a great relationship with those customers. So I think quite a broad set of responsibilities. I hope that answers your question. If it's not clear, feel free to follow it up.
Wow, what's good to see is that so you do everything. Well, it is everything except for the commercial side. It's funny that you mentioned that I do the technical stuff, and then we have a CEO who does all the other stuff. If you ask Job, our CEO, we'll get him on the show at some point. If you ask him, he will say exactly the opposite. I will just do the commercial stuff. and Rinie does all the other stuff. It's funny how you just talk about that. But what's good to see is that even after 10 years, and we can tell that Intercept is born out of passion for technology and the right technology. I think that's the good thing. That you're still passionate about it. You can be a brief answer. You said not everything goes right in this 10 years. Some things go wrong. Can you just mention something that went wrong?
Okay, didn't expect that question. What went wrong? I think. What went wrong? I think we. Then of course on a couple of levels. I started the company originally with somebody else, and for me, it was a real miss that we couldn't get one of the original founders to have found a role in the new Intercept. When we focused fully on Azure, I have to tell something first. When we started, we focused on Microsoft technology, but also a big part of that was VMware, because in all the private environments, hosted environments, it was VMware for 80-90%, and 10% was like Hyper-V or Citrix. One time had Xen Server or whatever, and we also embraced that. When we all decided, when we saw the potential of Azure, the flexibility, and I think real cool stuff that was happening there, and the buzz and the real challenge Microsoft put against AWS, we decided, okay, we're not going to do just Azure as one of the things. If we want to do this, we either do it all out and we drop everything else, or we're just not going to focus on it because that's never going to work. And releases are not every 3 to 5 years; it's every 6 weeks. So when we made that change, we couldn't get, even though he was part of the decision, he later said, "Yeah, I was not really happy with it." And so that's, I think, one of the things I could have done differently. So that's something that didn't go right for me. A lot of things did go right there, of course, with our choices. I think also focusing on the technology part of it. I think these are the things that went very well. So, yeah.
I think that is an amazing example, and I also really like that we are so transparent about that. That's what we see. But pitch in if I'm incorrect. But I joined in the startup phase, and now we're in a scale up, and it goes so fast. So when we jumped on that Azure train, we started doing Azure. It went like going from 50 miles an hour to 200. Like, all right, we're gonna do Azure, and then everything skyrocketed. It was amazing. It still is amazing. It's a great journey, but it's hard to keep people on board with that. If it's so fast, it's so incredibly fast, and that's a challenge for every company doing Azure, I think.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we really noticed there, of course, obviously you were a big part of that, of course, was that when we before Azure, there were a lot of, especially in the Netherlands, a lot of private hosters or private cloud or whatever they would like to call them, and we noticed that a lot of them were actually more investing in marketing than in the real tech part. So we were back at square one. Not really our thing. Didn't want to invest in hardware. Microsoft released Windows Azure before, and around the time they rebranded it to Microsoft Azure, we were migrating a big customer to Azure, big healthcare company. Microsoft, of course, then also released ARM. They didn't have any migration path, so Wesley was one of the key persons in developing an ASM to ARM migration, and we even sold that to Microsoft. Really nice. What I think one of the things we really noticed, and I think that's one of the things that was really great, was that with our adoption, with our full focus on Azure, we saw a big shift in the types of customers we were servicing. So no longer were the end customers, where often there was like a system administrator or some ops person really in love with his physical server or with VMware, and now we're saying, okay, we're going to take it all away, but it's going to be better. That was often quite a difficult discussion, but the software-driven companies, or ISVs, as Microsoft often calls them, they were completely in a different mode. So they didn't want to have a physical firewall or storage unit. Maybe they were looking to expand abroad. So Azure made a lot of sense, and some of these companies even thought, okay, if we're not already in the cloud, in the public cloud, then we're already behind. So a couple of choices led to a couple of really interesting developments. So, and now of course we have a full focus on Azure, a full focus on companies that are software driven or are creating software, or so there are of course a broad scope of these companies. And I think that's one of the things that really brought us a lot of scalability. No longer are projects a 6 months endeavor, but they could take 6 months, but you have like short intervals where you will engage with the customer, help them, maybe learn something in another project and introduce it in this one. So I think that's one of the really, really nice things about what we're doing.
Sounds like the average week. Yeah. And completely different question. We've got a Formula One pool running. How's that going for you?
You're number one. I think I did score some points last time. I think I'm somewhere in 5th place.
It's somewhere halfway, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I know I'm in 5th place. You're number one.
I'm number one. Just what it is. I'm number one in the Formula One pool. Yeah, no,
you're nice. It's not for Greg or Richard, because you're not in the Formula One. But next week, so that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, looking forward to that. All right, and then we've got some speed questions. So it's going to be option 1 or option 2. You'll have to answer option 1 or option 2. Greg will ask them. We'll get to discuss it afterwards. But first, let's ask the questions. Greg, take it away.
Okay, ready? Football or Formula One?
Formula One.
Pizza with or without pineapple?
Without pineapple.
Dev or ops?
Then I would say ops. That's not the picture.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Meetings or hands-on tech?
Hands-on tech.
Scotland or England?
I choose UK. Is it fine?
Office 365 or Azure?
Azure.
Microsoft Inspire or Microsoft Ignite?
Yeah, I think I would say Inspire.
Okay, startup or scale up?
Scale up.
And last one, app service or AKS?
AKS. Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Yeah, let me easily follow that up. We're working on a customer that has 450 web apps, and it works. And we can of course add like 10 times as much. So on the scalability part, it's fine. But seeing what you can do with AKS, seeing the cost efficiency, and the real new life it breathes into the whole product, it's definitely AKS.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Totally agree.
All right. Yeah. I think we'll make. We have made a good practice out of that. I think we'll do some blog posts on that on the website as well. So,
definitely,
keep an eye out for that. All right. Yes, and then one more question before we're gonna thank you for your time. Dev or ops? You said ops, but there's a story behind it. I know you can actually do proper development. That's what a lot of people don't know, but Rinie can write code.
Yeah, actually, before I started Intercept, I had another company that still exists, but it's scaled down quite considerably, where I developed a couple of programs that was way before app stores and all the other stuff. And it did just sell it on a website. You can just go to it and buy it. There's like a payment provider where you can just buy the license, and even sold like 500 copies to KPMG and all different. So that's really nice. So I really like the development part, because on the development part you learn how the product works, the platform, the operating system. So I really have a passion for development. I'm not not up to date in all the latest things, but did learn a lot from Gregor with .NET Core application he wrote, and I did some modifications on. So I really like the dev part. I think it should be really both. I also like scripting because of the way you can do some really powerful stuff. So Richard, we did something where you would call like an Azure function that does some great stuff, and seeing how easy you can build something like that, even in PowerShell nowadays. Yeah, that's really great. I do think the ops part, it's not the traditional ops. I don't like the part where you would switch a tape or where you patch a storage system. That's not the thing I was referring to. So ops is also it's also loaded with scripting and automation and all those things. So that's why I hesitated and chose ops.
Yeah, you do ops the right way. Let's call that.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's I think the great thing that Azure brought us. I think a lot of people that were not on board of that are still maybe managing in a VMware environment. That's not the thing I was referring to, but what you can do with Azure, what you can do with all the great tools you now have. And of course, things like PowerShell, but also CLI, that's really great.
All right. Yeah, totally agree. So thank you for this brief interview and give us some insights and of course the honesty. I love it. Just want to
thank you for hosting me. I really love the show. So great to be part of episode 2, and thank you for the great questions. So
yes, and you're welcome, and thank you, and see you tomorrow at stand up. All right.
See you tomorrow.
Cheers.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye, Rinie. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That was great. I like that.
That was awesome.
That was interesting. Got some good insights. I think gave a good picture of what we were doing as a company, how it started, where we are now, and we knew. Just a little shout out because Izzy joined a bit later and she asked about the t-shirts. She said, I can't see Greg's t-shirts, but yes, they are all the same. They are the last physical Ignite t-shirts. So I think Richard and I happened to accidentally wear them. And then Greg was keen to switch as well. So that was nice. I think we'll go to the next and the last section and discuss some fun facts. All right, fun facts, either personal or technical. I got one.
Go for it.
I got one. I had like a beauty mask this week, like the one that you peel off. It hurts. It hurts. It's like you feel. I never had it. And you feel beautiful. You feel your skin is nice, but when you get it on, you're like, all right, There's a picture on Twitter, by the way. There is a picture on Twitter. So I have that, but I got that on. I was like, this won't hurt. And then when I pull it off, it's not that good. Yeah.
And then
so
all the gunk inside is no, thank you.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. But I am getting more and more. I will do more of them. But I learned one thing: shave before you do it.
Oh yes.
I shave before. I didn't do that. That was a painful thing. All right. Yeah. And then other fun fact: Rich has got a Surface Duo.
Yeah.
Today.
Really cool. Came today through the post. It seems to work quite well. I'm still getting used to it all. Spinning it around and everything, and trying to unlock it with my finger properly, and it's nice. Not sure. It does fit in my pocket, but because of the silicone, it sort of gets stuck every now and again when I'm trying to pull it out. So I'm thinking maybe second device, work phone, maybe. Yeah, but so far I'm enjoying it.
But does it run Kubernetes?
It might do. No, it doesn't run Kubernetes yet, but I can access the Azure Cloud Shell and then connect to my AKS clusters all from the phone, dual screens. I can read that AKS ebook on here as well. Flip the pages. It's good. I like it so far. I'm sure I'll break it soon though.
All right. Well, Gregor, you got a fun fact.
I just wanted to say happy birthday to Lisa at the Edge because it's her birthday today.
Oh,
I know
yes, happy birthday.
She's also really busy.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Why is no one singing? What's the... Oh, well.
We'll leave that to you. But one fun
Nice.
fact about that, she actually shares her birthday with Robert Pattinson, the famous actor from Twilight. So, yeah.
And it's
a
the
little
Cloud
fun
Lunch
fact.
and Learn. It's the Cloud Lunch and Learn thing today, so give that a shout out as well.
Oh,
Cloud Lunch and Learn marathon.
Yeah, Cloud Lunch and Learn marathon started today. Yeah.
It's on right
We
now,
got
I
a
think.
link.
It is on.
Yeah, we got a
Yeah,
link.
there we
Yeah.
go.
All right.
Yeah, so,
Yes,
so after this, go watch it.
Yeah.
definitely check it out.
And one last thing is Carol's getting his hair blue, I believe. Carol was also in the comments.
Carl is getting his hair blue. Yeah, we're trying to get him and hopefully his counterpart as well on. And then, yeah. Oh, I think Izzy just said in chat a Dutch song about happy. All right, let's do it. It goes twee violen en een trommel en een fluit. I did it. Now, but nobody ever sing. I think we'll get Izzy on stream at some point and she'll have to sing as well. Maybe Thomas can do a little guitar in the background. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Let's start a community band. All right. Yeah. So, but on a more serious note, a fun fact is that actually, as an MSP at Intercept, so we are an MSP, we are a CSP, we do Microsoft stuff. We are also a software company.
Tell us more about that.
We actually have a product. We'll dedicate some time in a stream to come, I think, but we actually developed a product. So we did the whole expert MSP thing. I'm so distracted on the comments about my singing. It's horrible, I know. But, so we are an expert MSP. And for that, we needed to also have automation in place, right? So we built a cloud management platform ourselves so customers can log into that. And we're actually selling that as a product right now. So we're actually a software company as well. We sell software. It's called Reassure. We'll do an episode where we get our product owner and maybe view some insights, a little demo on what we do.
Bill joined earlier on. He was on.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I think it was. He was.
He's still on, but he was on.
So we'll talk about any features. So we're actually a software company as well, which is pretty cool. And that means we also have to look at from the other side, right? So we get the customer insights as well now, right? So why do we need a software architecture like that? And why do we need to build it? And how does that work? And we've got that experience with customers, so it really made sense to what we've built, what we've developed ourselves. Maybe sell it, see if we can help other MSPs or CSPs with that as well. I think that, yeah. And then next week, maybe we can get Carl on and his counterpart.
Yeah.
Talk about his blue hair. I think there's some charity going to be involved there, so I'm really interested in that.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dye anything blue. No,
me neither.
Not gonna, no.
Just leave that to him.
I admire it. It's amazing, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm definitely not gonna do it. All right, yeah, and I think next week we're gonna discuss some stuff about Microsoft Build.
Yes.
See what sessions we signed up for.
Yep.
I think I already clicked a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can fill out your session builder.
Yeah, it's already live. So if you still need to sign up, you can sign up and then do session builder. There's quite some good sessions in there. I saw. I'm interested in that. We'll talk about that next week. I think that's it then.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think we're to the end, unless anyone wants to say anything at all or be silent and forever hold your breath.
Say a big thanks. Just say a big thanks to everyone who tuned in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big thanks. Someone let Lisa know that we actually did sing happy birthday. So, all right. I just want to thank everyone. Thank you for joining. Please, if you like it, subscribe. Watch out for the episode next week with episode 3. Episode 3, we'll make it more professional than we did now. Even more nice videos and transfers, and I'm really getting into this stream stuff.
Yeah, when we're doing the Among Us stream, we need to do an Among Us stream.
Yes. Good point. We need to do the Among Us one. So let's set up a community thing where we have a Discord channel. So if anyone's interested, feel free to reach out, and we'll set up some Among Us. We can have a max of 10 people. If we have more than 10 people, we'll see if we can rotate that a little bit. let's make it happen next week. Let's do it next Friday or something.
Cool.
Awesome.
And,
Okay. Take care,
all
everyone.
right, so next Friday. Take care, everyone. Have a nice week. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Enjoy the upcoming weekend, and see you next week.
Bye-bye. Bye.